from strangers.
Oh, my name's Peter.
Welcome to the IUS Horizon podcast for today. Today we are going to be diving into an interesting topic. We are going to be discussing, am I the asshole? Now, before we start, I would like to give credit to our friends at the College Level Podcast who actually sat in this room last semester and 2 semesters ago. Jordan, Josh, and Nick, if you all are watching this, we give you credit for Am I the Asshole? But yeah, so what we're going to do is we're each going to go on Reddit, search up Am I the Asshole, then pick a thread and we'll read it and we'll decide if you're the asshole or not. So I guess I'll go ahead and start. So mine is, am I the asshole for calling my friend's husband a useless piece of shit?
Ooh.
So my best friend and her husband have 4 kids, 8, 6, 4, and 3. My friend's husband is a great dad when someone is there to help. When he is alone with all 4 kids, he gets overwhelmed and freezes. A few weeks ago, my friend was so sick, so I brought over dinner. We thought it was just a bad cold. When we were eating, my friend went to the bathroom, and the 3-year-old followed her. 3-year-old came running out saying her mom was throwing up. All of the kids ran to the bathroom, followed by me and my friend's husband. I helped her clean up while her husband went to get her nausea medicine and a thermometer. When he came back, I asked him to get the kids out of the bathroom so she could have some space. After we got the kids out, I took her temperature and it came back at 104. I get back and the kids are all in the bathroom again because their dad can't keep them away from the bathroom for 2 minutes. I give her Tylenol and water, and she almost immediately starts to vomit again, then passes out. Her husband just stood there while I was trying to get her into recovery position, get the kids away from her, and call 911. I managed to get them all out of the bathroom, and her husband is coming back every 20 seconds asking if I can call their nanny to help with the kids. If I can go to the hospital with her, did I start the dishwasher, or does he need to hand wash the youngest sippy cup, etc.? When my friend regained consciousness, he even started asking her how to do bedtime for the little ones. Did she wash their pajamas yet? Did they get screen time that day, or can he put on a movie? I told him his wife couldn't hold his hand right now, and he just had to figure it out. He told me he's not usually the one that deals with this, and he's trying his best. Then goes back to asking what stories the kids like. What setting does he need to put the sound machine on? And how do they like their milk? I just snapped and told him to figure it out on his own and called him a useless piece of shit. I don't know about reading this part. It's been nearly a month now, and he still acts all pissy when I stop by the house. My friend says he'll get over it, but my boyfriend thinks I was unnecessarily rude, and he was trying his best. Am I the asshole for calling him a useless piece of shit when he couldn't handle his own kids while his wife was experiencing a medical emergency?
I think in this type of given circumstance that there is a time and a place definitely on the husband. You can kind of get the idea that he's a bit socially awkward. Maybe he was obviously struggling. He didn't know what to do, but he was probably freaking out in his own right because he knew he'd be stuck alone with the kids. That I understand. There is also a time and a place, though, to approach your wife for like help or assistance and stuff. And in the middle of an active emergency is not that appropriate time. So was he overall a asshole in that situation? Like the husband I'm referring to? Yes. I think there's a time and a place. I think that even if you're panicking, overwhelming the person that just passed out is not the correct course of action. Obviously, if you have that many kids, it's going to be really hard to keep them all out of the bathroom and they're all worried about their mom. So I don't shame him for that. I do shame him for constantly asking questions to the wife about how to take care of the kids, what to do. I get where he's coming from, but he should not be asking her. If anything, he should be trying to help get her to the hospital and then discuss stuff with her, or just try to get someone to take care of the kids in the meantime, or just relax and sit with the kids just to get them occupied while the friend gets them out of the house. Her language, though, the person that posted this, I think they were kind of an asshole in this situation because it's an overwhelming situation. It is scary. I can get where the husband's coming from, but it's also not your place to treat the husband like that when he's actively experiencing a scary situation, especially when his wife just passed out, throwing up. He's freaking out. He's not used to this stuff. He tried to relate to that. Do I think the asshole made bad decisions? Yes. But do I also think that the dialogue used from the friend was appropriate in this situation? No. He's also having a bad day. It's not as bad as the wife's, but he's also having an equally freaked out moment.
I feel like the reason why she called him a useless piece of shit is because he wasn't really thinking about the wife. He was more so thinking about himself. Like, how do I deal with the kids? How do I deal with the kids? He more so could have been asking, like, oh my gosh, is she okay? Like, do I need to call an ambulance?
I agree with that. I also think that.
So I think that's why she called him a useless piece of shit, because he wasn't helping the wife out. He was more concerned about how he's going to handle himself with the kids.
I agree with that part. As I said, I felt like he was an asshole in the situation. But you also got to keep in mind, that's not her husband. That's not her relationship, her issue. That should be a moment where you have to de-escalate. Screaming and acting like that, especially in front of a bunch of kids, is only going to make things worse.
I mean, I had a whole lot to say until you started talking and took it all.
Oh, sorry.
No, you didn't. You didn't take it all. I just agree with pretty much everything you said. I think it was well worded. Nice.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say pretty much what you said. To be honest, I mean, I feel like it could have handled it better, but at the same time, I understand where he was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Where like stress, anger can really bring out the ugly of somebody. So I get it.
One thing I will point out, their oldest was 8 years old. Like, how does he not know like how to take care of kids by now? Because they have 4 kids, and their oldest is 8 years old. So you think that he would at least be able to know how to do some of it on his own.
Yeah,
because it's not really a good look on him if he doesn't know what to do.
Well, different kids have different requirements.
Some of them do, yeah. But it's just not really a good look for him if he doesn't know how to take care of his kids. It's like, what are you doing in your free time? Like, is your wife the only one taking care of the kids, or?
No.
That's funny. I thought you said it's a bad look for the 8-year-old.
Oh.
That's why I laughed.
The 8-year-old.
Maybe it's a stupid 8-year-old.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is a stupid 8-year-old.
I definitely think that I do see where you're coming from. I also think that with that in mind, that's where we're getting to assumption territory. And when it comes to am I the asshole, we got to take what we're given. We got to get taken what we're told. We got to try to look at it from an outsider's point of view, since we are unbiased, don't have a side. But we also have to recognize that we are hearing this from a one-sided lens. So we don't know the family dynamic. We don't know how old the rest of the kids are. We don't know what's going on with that type of situation. And if you are a parent, keep in mind, an 8-year-old can't really fully fend for themselves or do anything like that.
They do list all of the kids' ages on here. One is 8, one is 6, one is 4, and the other's 3.
Yeah, I can totally see where the dad would be freaking out then, because different kids need different types of measurements or different amounts of food or different types of I know that this is not the best comparison in the world, but with cats, since I am currently house sitting, the different cats need different amounts of food, different types of different ounces, different amounts of medicine. So if a kid needs a certain type of medicine or vitamin, I can get where that would definitely freak him out, and his top priority would be to take all the responsibility off of the hands of the wife to try to take care of them. But here's my overall summary. I think they're both assholes. I think the husband was an asshole, and he should have waited. He should have helped his wife first. Definitely, there's a time and a place to ask questions, and I get where he came from. That was not that moment. That moment is take care of your wife. She just passed out, was nonstop throwing up in the bathroom. She's not keeping fluids down. Take care of her. And make sure that the kids don't see their mother like that. That's the number one priority, because you want to make sure that the kids are okay, but you number one want to make sure the wife who's actively not doing okay gets treatment. And that's where you could be like, hey, I need you, blank's friend, do you mind sitting with the kids for a second? I need to be able to help my wife.
Yeah.
That's a moment where that should have happened. I think he's an asshole for bombarding both of them with questions. The second she wakes up, ask her questions. That's not appropriate. That's not the time or place to do it. You wait till you get to the doctor, or maybe ask a doctor or a family friend, what do they recommend? That's when you do that. However, do I think that it was the friend's place to be able to say something like that and act like that when the husband's clearly having his own struggles in that moment too? No. And I think that if I was married to someone and my wife's friend said that to me and treated me like that in a moment of crisis, I would probably have a grudge too. So I understand where he's coming from in that regard. But I think this story, you're both the asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agree with that, because with the author, they could have said something completely different, like
Mhm.
like said, "Hey, don't worry about that. Call an ambulance, or make sure that your wife's okay." Don't just say, "Oh, you're a useless piece of shit."
Exactly.
So yeah, I would say they classify as the asshole. The Reddit thread actually labeled them not the asshole.
What?
Yeah,
I
because
agree.
some of these label them
Really?
as the asshole and not the asshole, and they labeled them as not the asshole.
Why do you disagree?
Because some people need that wake up call, especially some fathers.
Some do, yeah.
Some
But it's-
fathers are just so out of their children's lives. Like, I'm guessing this dude probably works, doesn't have too much, say about the kids, but like the father's being a complete moron. at
But
this
is
point.
that an appropriate moment to do it? Is a moment of emergency?
If my friend did that and it woke me up, then yeah.
Yeah, but you also are making a lot of assumptions about a life we just don't have the context of, and I don't think that's fair to do on the. I get where you're coming from, and as I said, I think they're both assholes. I definitely think the husband has room to grow. That language, though, that behavior, especially in front of a bunch of little kids, and in a moment of crisis, is not the place or time to do it. I think definitely being like, hey, maybe pulling him to the side after the wife is like in the hospital or something, be like, hey, you gotta pull yourself up. Do you pull yourself together? Your wife's in like trouble. You need to be able to be a responsible adult, not in front of the kids, not yelling, not in the middle while everyone's panicking. I think that what you're saying is true, but I also think you shouldn't do that in that moment of crisis. It's just
Well,
not appropriate.
I
Well-
feel like he was already struggling. The
Well-
only way to wake him up was something abrasive.
But one thing to point out is some kids will get emotional if they hear their parents like be called a piece of shit like that. Because like I can tell you, like when I was a kid, like I would get upset. Like if I heard like someone yell at my parents, I would get upset about it.
Hey, if a dad needs to hear it, a dad needs to hear it.
But not in front of his kids.
Yeah.
That's a big no. You should not say that in front of the children, especially when they're that young, and you should not do it in the middle of a crisis. That is just my firm stance. There's a time and a place for a conversation. If you can't keep it yourself, like what you want to say to yourself until an appropriate moment, then you're a child. You're being childish. You should be able to hold your tongue, wait for an appropriate moment, and then say something. If you're in the middle of a dangerous situation or a crisis, we're like, this would be considered dangerous. If a person can't keep fluids down, they're projectile vomiting, they're blacking out, 104-degree temperature, that's danger. And in that moment, yelling at someone, calling them useless when they're already clearly panicking and having a breakdown of their own is only going to make it worse. And you are not being helpful. You are actively contributing to the problem at that point. So do I feel like, yes, did he deserve a wake-up call? For sure. In that moment? Hell no.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, just so that way we'll have time to make sure that everyone is able to read theirs out. So
Yeah.
who would like to go next?
Yes,
All right,
All right,
yeah,
let's go.
I actually want to
say-
hear what yours is
I'm
because
very
you said it
curious.
was the worst thing you've ever read.
Uh-huh.
So
Oh,
Yeah,
this will be
gosh.
interesting.
I'm very curious.
This one's pretty rough. Trigger warning if you're offended by anything. Unfortunately, what I'm reading is reality. I hate that it's reality. Everyone hates that what I'm about to read is reality. The first part. But I think we'll all have the same opinion once I'm done reading this.
Who would get offended by this, if you don't mind me asking?
No one's gonna get offended.
Okay.
It's just like some crappy stuff happens to people,
Okay.
which is really, really bad. Anyway, am I the jerk? Sorry if this is a repeat post. I believe I accidentally deleted my first one. Well, a trigger warning for sexual assault. When I was 20 years old, I was raped in every way by a 42-year-old man. He pressured me and threatened me and even hit me. He peer-pressured me and got me drunk despite me being underage at the time. It hurt me immensely, physically and mentally. It hurt me physically for a week and hurts me mentally for life. He even had guns in his home which were visible and present to make me feel threatened. Well, I, 23 female, and my boyfriend, 31 male, contacted my rapist in June of 23. We confronted him, reminded him of what he did to me. Then informed him that I'd be filing a police report against him for his crimes. I later got in contact with his ex-wife, who confided in us that he had raped her countless times, shoved her down the stairs, beat her, gotten her in a car crash, all these terrible things. Well, he killed himself. He blew his brains out with a gun And when I heard the news, I was so relieved. I felt justice. That is horrible. Serial rapist and abuser, who had also physically abused me, was dead and would no longer have the power to hurt another woman. When I told my family how relieved I was and wanted to celebrate getting justice, they attacked me and accused me of being a horrible person. So I asked you, Reddit, AITAH. I have some opinions on this real quick. Sorry. Obviously, this is a terrible, awful person, and I have very strong views that I think rapists, at the bare minimum, should be castrated and life in prison.
Mhm.
Bare minimum. For awful, awful, awful situations, I think they should be put to death.
I think
Yeah,
so too.
Personally,
like the
I agree.
like if you killed someone, then
Right.
there you go.
If you kill
and-
someone or if you rape someone, for
Yeah.
sure.
and it scares me if anyone would stand up against those views, because that's just the scum of society.
I mean,
Like,
it
worse
is
than
like a
scum.
huge debate topic is the death penalty.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I think you can probably get a lot more people on board with murder and with, I mean, I don't think like you should be out here killing people for other reasons, but murder and rape
Yeah.
are two good ones. I think pedophilia should be in there as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Personally.
definitely.
And
No disagreements here.
But yeah, I mean, celebrating. I don't necessarily think you should have a party because of
No.
the death of someone, but also at the same time feeling relieved, feeling justice, and just that calming of, okay, I got justice. This isn't going to happen to someone else, and having that contentment. That's got to be a good feeling after all of the awful, awful stuff that this woman went through.
Mhm.
I
First thing I want to say is that is not at all what I was expecting to read. I thought it was going
Yeah.
to be like something funny,
yeah, that was
but then,
grim.
like
Yeah.
in a way, like it sounds bad, but it kind of made me laugh just because like I was not expecting that at all. Like I was laughing because I thought this was gonna be something funny, but no, this is actually something serious.
Yeah.
Like it sounds bad to me to laugh at that, but like I just thought it was funny, like that we were all just completely startled by
Yeah,
that.
you're a terrible person for laughing.
Like,
I actually recorded that, and I'm going to post it
Oh.
later.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
great.
it already got recorded,
Oh,
so
shit.
you guys
no, I mean I'm not laughing
live
I'm not
on
laughing.
air.
I'm not laughing at the crimes of this person. Like obviously being raped is like a really serious topic.
Yeah.
But that's all besides the point. So when it comes to if they're the asshole, so is it more so are they the asshole for celebrating the death of this person or because they practically caused the death of this person?
I think it's because they're celebrating.
Okay,
Because based on
see-
what the family was saying.
I would honestly argue that they are the asshole for celebrating it because here's the thing.
Ooh, it's gonna get
Why would you celebrate the death of someone?
Because he's a piece of shit.
It's still though, I don't feel like you should celebrate the death of someone, even though you hate them big time.
I agree, but having something like that happen to you is very traumatic, and like all those feelings, all
is.
those emotions. So like you're gonna want to see that person either put behind bars or dead.
I would more so feel relieved rather than excited that they've been.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel excited. So
Yeah.
maybe they rephrase that.
That's what this person is kind of coming off as, that they're
Yeah.
excited that they
Yeah,
killed
maybe
themselves.
they need to rephrase their wording.
Yeah,
because
that's the main
yeah,
thing. That like if they're
excited is
relieved
a
by
little
it,
odd.
then I would argue they're not the asshole. But like if they're
Right.
excited about it, then yes, I would say so.
right.
I'll hold my opinions for the end. I want to hear your two thoughts
Interesting.
on this first.
Were you listening? Were you listening to the?
Yeah.
Someone.
You
All
think
right.
she's an asshole
I-
for the rapist
Celebrating it, yes.
celebrating it?
Yeah.
Essentially being excited about it.
Because, I mean, there was a certain event recently
Oh
in history that people were celebrating the death of someone,
yes.
and it was all over. And I think all of those people are sick, even if it's like no one deserves to die. Everybody deserves,
What about a murderer?
Yeah. What about like
Yeah, if
murderers?
it's a
though, or
murderer.
rapists?
Someone walks in and shoots up this school. Are you wanting them to?
Whoa.
No, I'm being serious. Like
Whoa.
this happens. It's terrible.
Yeah,
it's
like,
awful.
It's
It
a,
happens.
a
It's
lot of it has
reality,
happened
unfortunately.
recently.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
I think he should just face jail time. Like, jail is better than killing someone.
There's
because they suffer there for the rest of their life.
They do, but there's a possibility that they could get out.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can
they may
remove
not
chance
learn.
of chance of
Yeah.
parole, but like even
You
here's
can, but the criminal justice part is so messed up in the U.S.
Yeah.
especially
We
when it
let way
comes
too many
to
people
rape
out of
victims. The
prison.
majority of the time they can't get
Yeah.
out.
Uh,
Right.
We're just filling up the prisons.
You they have let so many dumb people out.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
See,
Mhm.
What is your stance? And I
Yeah.
do have a reason for my stance. I agree with you on a lot. You'll get it.
I don't know what to say because I don't know how to say if she is or if she isn't, because I wish she rephrased it. If she is excited, then I think she's an asshole. But because I kind of agree, no one deserves to die. But at the same time, putting myself in her shoes, the anger, all the trauma, all of that, feeling that, I can understand. But like being excited that someone died, it's a little inhumane. It's a little yikes. So I don't really know where I'm at. I'm like in the middle.
It's
So
better
she
to
is, but she
feel
isn't.
like relief about it
Yes,
versus
not
like go,
excited.
oh, I'm so happy this person died.
Right.
Like you don't want to do that.
Right,
You just want to
like-
go.
That's like me getting excited that
That's what
Donald
you
Trump dies. That's fucked up.
That is an interesting one to bring
I think
up.
it's
but
messed up. So
yeah,
I just like, yes, he's not the nicest person, the brightest person, whatever the case. Whatever the case. But neither is either side, in my opinion.
yeah. No,
So-
each side has its
Yeah,
own flaws.
You being excited that someone dies is inhumane, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
I've
just-
never been a Biden fan, but I never want him to get assassinated.
See?
Yeah,
See?
exactly.
See,
Yeah,
because it's a human, and no matter how much you like them or dislike them, or how emotional you are towards that stance,
See,
that's still another human life, and you're still a
I
human.
agree.
But where I disagree with you is if you take another life, and this seems like he got pretty close to taking a life, and at the very least did a lot of awful, evil things
Yes.
to multiple people. That's where you can start to have the conversation about what is the result of your actions, because that's what it is. It's not
Yeah.
like this guy's the victim if he got put in prison for his whole life, or I know he did some awful things and he should be punished for it.
Yeah.
Basically, you just believe in an eye for an eye.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good argument.
That's fair.
I think that this situation, I don't know. We don't really know how they were going to celebrate, but I personally know people.
Real quick, so sorry.
Yeah.
I know everyone keeps saying that, and I just want to quote what she said is, I wanted to celebrate getting justice, which she refers to the death as justice, just for informational
okay.
purposes. Continue.
I personally, I've had my own crazy life. I've known people that have gone through horrible pain like that. And sometimes justice never went around to them when they deserved it. And I feel as though with this circumstance, I am biased because of my experience. But personally, if you're celebrating justice and you're just trying to get family and feel that sense of relief as a family, that doesn't make you the asshole. I think if you're like throwing a party with balloons and music and all of that and making a festival out of it, that's wrong. It's still a human being. They still died. But no, I don't think if you're trying to gather with your family and finally be able to cry with your family and be like, we got justice. Like he finally acknowledged what he did was monstrous and we got justice. No, I think that doesn't make you an asshole. I think if we knew exactly how she wanted to celebrate, then my view might change, but I don't think she's the asshole now.
And it's kind of like what he said earlier. There was a certain event that happened recently where people were actually jumping up and down celebrating it.
And that's wrong. I don't think anyone should die based on a belief. I don't think anyone should be murdered and shot down based on a principle. I think you can have horrible actions, and I think that with those actions you can be a terrible, horrible piece of person. But I don't think you should be killed for your beliefs. I think that if you're going to be like in this situation, no, again, I'm biased. I think jail, death. I think that no matter what, he deserved a horrible punishment for what he did.
Oh yeah.
And
he definitely needed a punishment.
yeah, if he went unjustified, I'd be infuriated.
Mhm.
And I would hate that situation. But at the same time, you shouldn't be shot or killed based on a stance.
Mm.
Now, with actions, if you're a serial killer or if you're a serial abuser or assaulter, that's a totally different case.
Yeah, like that jumps into its own thing. That's kind of like
Yeah.
what we're dealing with in this situation.
There's a difference between action and speech.
Mhm.
That's where I'm going with this. So,
All right, so we'll move on to the next one now.
yes, please.
Who would like to go next?
All right,
Kaylee?
go ahead.
I'll go next.
You got this, Kaylee.
I'm trying to pick between two. Um,
Well, which one will make us react more?
I think this one.
Alright.
This one. Okay. So, am I the asshole for not wanting to go to my stepbrother's house for holidays anymore? So, I grew up without my dad, and my mom married my stepdad when I was young, and he has 2 boys. Was neither close with his kids or him. We are different people with very different values. My mom constantly asked me to go over to his oldest boy's house that is married with kids there for holidays. I have went the past 2 years, and it's so uncomfortable and not natural. We don't connect or talk. It's an hour away, and it's not worth it to me. I don't want to do the fake family shit. My stepdad's kids don't even talk to me when I go over, nor does his wife. Didn't invite me to their wedding and only say hi when I leave. I feel my parents value them more because they took the same path they did in life, and mine differs from theirs.
No, you're not the asshole.
No,
No.
I would argue you're not the asshole.
Oh,
Well,
heck no.
this brings up something that I don't think they're an asshole either, but listen to your kids. If
Mhm.
they are feeling something, if they are, like, I get a kid, like, but I wish they put their age, because if they're an adult, you don't have to go. If you're 18 plus, you don't have to go. No,
Mhm.
I understand. But, like, talk to your kids. Validate your kids. Like,
the
talk to your
parents
damn
are the
kids.
assholes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if they're trying to force them to go to something they do not want to go, I think that's an asshole.
It honestly reminds me of like parents that like force their kids to like play
Yes.
sports.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Yes,
There
yes.
are a lot of parents that do that. I actually know some that do that.
Yeah.
And it's on it.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that actually triggers me is when parents do that.
Yeah. And like a hard pill to swallow for me personally that I had to learn as becoming an adult is learning to be appropriate in time and places. And there's always a situation where a specific being I have to deal with, and them having a choice that whether they get to go or not is like they're lucky, because there are people that are actually stuck and have to deal with that.
I
deal
agree.
with the situation.
I agree with you, Kaylee,
Yeah.
on that. I think that there's a lot of people in
Being
this
an
world.
adult, not a kid.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this world that don't get that opportunity to make their own decision. Be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. And even then, there's some people in the world that don't get their own voice. Like even with their own family, they could be an adult, but they feel like their voice doesn't matter, and
That's
they
true.
have to be in that shadow.
That's true.
So I think that first off, good on whoever poses. Good on you. Good on you for standing your ground in your own voice. I think that if you don't want to go because you don't feel welcome, then find your own found family. Celebrate with them. Do whatever you want.
Right.
I think it all depends on how old the kid is, because if it's some kid who's like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like
I would hope that a kid that's 8 years old isn't posting on Reddit.
yeah,
Oh,
that's what I was
yeah.
getting at.
I
If
wish
it's
they
someone
had put their age.
who's posting on
Is
Reddit,
there
they're probably
a-
at least 16.
Are
So
there
that makes me
any-
more concerned why
any-
they're uncomfortable.
Are there any comments asking how old they are?
Not that I can see.
I got a goofy one after this.
I see
Yeah,
a
we
comment.
need something a little more
I see a
uplifting
comment
here.
where you're a grown ass adult. You don't enjoy going. Don't go. So
How
I'm
do they
There
know
we
that
go.
they're
Yeah.
an adult?
they're an adult. Okay, I didn't know that. And
Okay.
they end up not going, which I don't. Good on you for not
No,
going.
yeah, that's good of them to not go.
Yeah, they chose not to go.
Mm.
But yeah, if they're an adult, don't go.
Yeah.
Despite feelings and all that. So
Yeah.
that makes me want to ask you a question, Jeff. So
Sure.
if you have kids
Mhm.
and if they do not want to go somewhere because it makes them uncomfortable or something, do you still make them go?
It depends on it. It depends on the situation.
Depends on the
Like if
situation.
they're genuinely uncomfortable because there's someone there that's making them uncomfortable,
Okay.
then maybe I need to consider whether or not this person should even be in our life in the first place.
Okay.
If I think it's irrelevant, if my wife thinks it's irrelevant, and they're just a kid being a kid, because there's plenty of scenarios where a kid's just being a kid,
They don't wanna know.
and their kids are paranoid about stupid things when they shouldn't be paranoid about,
Mhm.
and make really stupid decisions because they're kids. And if that's the case, then they're going to go and sorry, little buddy, but you need to grow up and learn how to deal with your emotions. But
Right.
if it's a valid thing and it's someone who's being weird to them, if it's especially if it's my daughter, if it's a man being weird to them, they will know. They will have a nice little come to Jesus conversation with them.
Oh yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Greg, do you have any thoughts?
On like
Were you listening?
Yeah.
That's good. We can talk about the political and economic state of the world right now.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay, that
right.
is a
what
wild.
was that dude's name?
Yeah.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah. Do you have? I know he has one ready, but do you have a story to talk about? A Reddit thread?
Us. I mean, not a Reddit thread, but I have my own kind of like. I guess I don't know if I'm an a-hole for doing it or not.
Ooh, we got a twist.
Let's hear it.
He's
Um,
here.
That could have been something we could have done, is bring our own
Something
personal
driving.
experience.
Are
If it's
we
something
the
driving
ass?
related, I'm
Yeah.
gonna laugh.
No, if I know I'm an asshole on the road. I guess tipping culture in general.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember you bringing this up earlier.
I hate it because a lot of these people don't work for it. As in, like, when you get to the, like, if I make an order online and it's asking me for a tip and I go to pick it up, I am not tipping you.
No, they don't need a tip.
And going through, like, the Starbucks drive-through, and especially in Charlestown Road, every single time I have to pay with my phone or else they're going to ask for a tip.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, I get it. You're making your job, or you're doing your job, making coffee. I used to do the same thing. I would never ask the customers for tips because I know that shit's so inconvenient.
Yeah.
Because no, I'm not going to give you extra money for doing your bare minimum job.
Yeah.
Now, if it's like a waiter,
Oh, no,
that's a
I
little
was going to
different.
get to that. Yeah. But at like, I go to Texas Roadhouse every now and then. If the waiter is just a complete douchebag,
No.
barely checks on me, like at Buffalo Wild Wings, it happens a lot to me and my roommate. We won't get checked on at all. We'll run out of water. We'll run out of, all of this stuff. And we have to wait 15 plus minutes to get service. You're not getting a tip. I'm sorry. You need to work harder for that. Or if you are getting a tip, you're getting a very small tip. You are getting $5 max. Now, if you are the sweetest, kindest person in the world, you check on us all the time, ask us how our food's doing, you're getting like a $15, $20 tip, depending on how the check is. If the check's bigger, then you're getting a bigger tip because you had to work your ass off for that. And I think that it deserves a tip. But, I mean, doing your bare minimum job, you get paid for it. You don't need extra money for it.
How do you feel about delivery drivers?
Oh, yeah, 100% tip them.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
because they're using their own money. And I used to work a lot of DoorDash and Instacart and seeing like, oh, this is a $20 order and the person tips you like 25 cents. Like all of that $20 is going to the trip to go to the store, get you your stuff, and then drive all the way to your house. I'm earning no profit off of this. And so every time I order something like DoorDash, always a tip. Because DoorDash pays you, God, I can't even remember the last time I even looked at my account, but I think you make like an average of like $3 an order.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, I know some areas. I used to do DoorDash, and if you know where to go, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like a lot of locations, the tips are horrible. And on that note, I actually have a pretty solid stance on it. I hate tipping culture in America. You should not pay someone a paycheck based on the idea that they're going to get tipped this amount every single time. Yeah. Your paycheck and like livelihood should not be based on that. You should be being paid.
It should always be hourly.
Yeah, you should be paid based on a respectable amount of hourly, and a tip's just supposed to be an addition. It's not supposed to solidify. Like if you're paying rent and that 90% of that rent's from tips, no, I hate that. But like in European culture, literally every other culture besides America, they hate tipping. You do not get tipped unless you deserve the tip. And 90% of the time, they just don't get tipped, and the people are fine with that because they paid for it.
I was actually going to bring that up. There are some places that they actually refuse tips, like they will
Yeah.
not accept them.
The
Then
job I
how-
used to work. Sorry,
Well, you're fine. I was just gonna ask on y'all's opinion on gratuity then.
I was going to say my
Cartoon.
like it's kind of ridiculous. The last job I used to work at was a coffee place, and they combined everybody's tips that they made and then distributed out them like evenly. I hated that because I would always be super nice to these people, and then you'd see your coworker, what do you want? It's like, how does he get my tips?
I-
Yeah.
Also had to work in a situation like that. It was the super tip jar, and they would gather. Here's the thing, even because like for context, I was a cook. I was a I was the person that would take your orders. I cooked. I did orders. I helped with coffee. I did dishwashing. I did all of that. And yet, whenever someone tried to tip, it would just fall out the gutter and go into the jar.
Sorry to interrupt, but we only have 5 minutes left.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you want to read yours off, just that way, I just want to make sure that everyone is able to read theirs off. Is all. Like, sorry for ending yours quickly.
No, mine was done.
This one is goofy, and I think it's a fun way to leave off after
yeah,
some of ours.
we need something a little more uplifting.
Am I the asshole for not wanting our friend to come over back to our house after he ate literally everything we owned?
I saw this one when I was scrolling through Reddit.
And the overall consensus is not an a-hole. But here we go. My husband and I live abroad. Earlier this year, a mutual acquaintance, let's call him K, reached out saying he'd been scammed with an apartment rental and had nowhere to stay. At first, we only offered a weekend, but he was polite, helped around the house, and seemed grateful. So we ended up letting him stay a full 20 days he'd asked for. During the time, some things rubbed us the wrong way. He never brought groceries, and multiple times he pretended he was going to pay but forgot his wallet, or claimed he could only use Apple Pay, not accepting our local supermarket. He'd eat way more than his usual share. Once my husband and I shared half a pizza, and he ate the other half without contributing at all. Still, we felt bad for him, so we let it go. We stayed friendly for a few months after. We were planning a 17-day trip. Since he was struggling with rent, we offered him to stay at our place in exchange for taking care of the dog. I even wrote a Google Doc with instructions for the house, dog care, gym, accessories, and etc. I told him he could eat anything that was going to expire: fruit, vegetables, yogurt, etc. When we came back, everything was gone. And I mean everything, the entire fridge, freezer, pantry. He finished 2 jars of jam, a jar of peanut butter, a giant Costco bottle of olive oil, condiments, rice, snacks, cheese, and even my husband's supplements like creatine, protein, and collagen. He completely destroyed a ceramic pan. He consumed things that usually last us 6 months in just 2 weeks. I honestly suspect he might have taken stuff with him because of how much stuff was missing and how insane it was. I didn't confront him except to ask him to replace the pan, which he mocked me about. It's just a pan. Why are you making it a big deal? I felt deeply disrespected, and now he keeps texting me, acting like nothing happened, and he wants to hang out. I told my husband I don't want him in our home ever again. My husband says I'm being too harsh, and if he wants to stay friends, that's his choice. But I feel completely taken advantage of and disrespected. So am I the asshole for not wanting to see this guy ever again and refusing to let him come back to our house? No.
Here's my question: has this person's friend ever seen Seven?
No.
Because one of the 7 deadly sins is gluttony, and this person is sounding like that they committed a gluttony.
That guy
Disrespecting
sucks.
you in your own house is crazy.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That's insane.
I would
Where are
argue
your
they are
manners,
not the
hello?
asshole.
You broke up how do you break a ceramic pan in 2 weeks from
I
cooking
don't know if they
that
broke
much?
it or if they just ruined it.
No.
They
It
could've.
said it was destroyed. Like the pan was.
Oh.
Yeah. What?
What temperature is he cooking that thing on?
Clearly, he cooked enough to eat an entire pantry, which is ridiculous.
That is insane. Yeah, I'd argue they're not the asshole.
Yeah,
No.
they're not the asshole.
No, I completely think that.
I would have kicked them out instantly.
Oh,
Yeah. Could you imagine coming home? You spend like $200 to $400 on groceries. You're like,
Yeah.
I finally get to lay down, and there's dog food on the floor. Like the cabinet is like ripped open. There's nothing.
I
The
mean-
fridge, everything.
Let me tell you, I'm a big food person. If I came home and someone ate all my food, I would be mad at them too.
Oh my
So-
gosh,
yeah.
the hangry
Oh,
go
yeah.
crazy.
Just
I come home from a long day at work and then I see that all my food's eaten. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
How would you feel about that if like one of your buddies came over and just destroyed all of your food?
I know exactly which friend would do this too. And I would walk up to him. Actually, no, it'd probably be my sister.
That's worse.
Calling her out.
And she's not going to listen to this. She knows who she is. I would walk up to her and be like, all right, hey, Hannah. So where did my eggs go? Where did my... It's funny, that's actually just recently.
Wait, she has done this to you?
Anyway, so I walk up and be like, hey, so where'd the eggs go? Where's the dog food? The dog's out. The dog's gone. I don't even know where my dog is anymore. Are you okay? Are you gonna Venmo? You got my Venmo still? I don't really know what else I would say other than just wow, nice.
All right. Well, on that note, we will. Sorry, I can't see without my glasses on. But yeah, on that note, we will wrap this episode up. I think this episode went really well. Not really sure what we're going to be talking about next Monday, but we'll figure it out. I do know what we're going to be doing next Wednesday. I'm going to start hyping it up now. We are doing our Halloween episode on Wednesday. So be prepared to see us all dressed up in Halloween costumes. All right. We'll see you next Monday.